Hello, Hollywood Times viewers. Judy Shields here. Today, we welcome country music singer, songwriters, and Music Road's Magazine's Independent Artists of the Year 2024, Chris Ramos and Ben Chism, known as BoomTown Saints. That's an amazing name, guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
Well,
thank
thanks for
you.
having us. We really appreciate being here this morning.
So, which one is Chris and which one is Ben?
I'm Chris, and that's
I'm
Ben.
Ben.
That's Ben. I like that hat, Ben.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Nice. That's nice. So let's talk about the two of you and country star Sam Grow in the soon to be released powerful, and I mean powerful, new ballad, Heart Breaks You, which is debuting on August 30th. That song is freaking amazing, guys.
Well, thank you. We've been excited about this one for 4 years, and the way it came about. I guess we'll just call it serendipitous at this point because it's been 4 years in the works for both Sam and us independently, and then we just decided to come together on it. So it's been a fantastic ride.
Yeah. So, who are the writers? Were you guys involved or?
We were not involved. So we got this song. But basically the way this song came about 4 years ago, before Ben and I were signed to a record label, our producers, Gary Crane and Noah Gordon, brought us this song, and they were like, "This is the kind of sound we're going for," and we're like, "We want that song. We want it, want it, want it." And they're like, "All right, let's see what we can do." Well, it also happened to be pitched to Sam Grow. Sam was signed, and Sam was doing well streaming, and he had Colt Ford behind him, which Colt Ford is just legendary in the country music space. He's carved out an entire genre on his own, and Sam got it. Fast forward 3.5 years, I guess. It had not been released yet, and there were a number of reasons why it wasn't released. So last September, so a year ago, we sat down and we were like, "All right, what about this song? What's the deal with it?" And then we had the idea, what if we release it together? So that's ended up what happened. We ended up had an opportunity to release with Sam. Um, his voice is just off the charts, and he's, what he's done in the industry, the career he's made for himself, just allowing us to be part of it with him is awesome. And then I know radio has been really excited about hearing Sam, and we've been on radio a bit the last couple of years, so it's kind of a again serendipitous the way it all came together.
Yeah, it must have been amazing when you got to see the words for this song, right? Because how does it start? How do you get it?
It's the words of the song. I mean, it's when you first heard it, when it comes out of the gate 17, you're the captain of the football team. You're like, oh, it's gonna be a song about just this cool guy. And then he gets to the chorus, and it's like you just keep breaking hearts, and buddy, you ain't got no clue what you're doing until a heart breaks you. And then all of a sudden you really feel like, and then when you hear that chorus and you're like, oh my goodness, because it's one of those two things: either A, you're a man and you get it, or B, you might be, somebody who doesn't get it yet, and you've had your heart broken, and you're like, yeah, I wish that person would understand that. And so it fits both sides.
What's your take on it, Ben?
I think it's kind of along what Chris is. I mean, when you first hear that song, we heard it first 4 years ago. You're sitting there going, wow, wow. Why has this song not become a number one hit just yet? And then going through everything. But that song truly is about, how many times have you ever had your heart broke? How many times have you ever broke somebody's heart and you didn't mean to, but it happened anyways? Well, you don't know. And me and Chris are married. We have 5 girls between us, and we've been through trials and tribulations, ups and downs, and everything else. And the women we are with now would have never been with us 10 years ago or whatever it was while 15 years ago, while we were trying to become the people that we are. And we have had our hearts broke all along the way. Yeah. And it's a very powerful song for both of us.
Well, congratulations to you both. It is an amazing song. I can't wait to put it out there for everybody to listen to and get them to download it and their friends and those hearts. Send it to the people that broke their hearts.
Exactly. Just hit forward, guys. I promise it'll say
hit forward.
I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, this would be a great Valentine's Day song.
See? Oh my gosh, you guys have it there. Oh, and then the video. How does that all come about?
So the video, we're recording with. So we have a lyric video, and that's going to be released on Friday. And the lyric video is, we really, to your point, Judy, that the lyrics are really what a lot of our lyric videos, we try to tell a story behind them. So you'll see a lot of pictures and videos behind it to kind of get the vibe. This particular song, we were like, no, this needs to be about the words. People need to really understand the words and pay attention to what's being said. So it is a very basic in context of what we've done in the past lyric videos. And that's exactly why we did it. We were like, look, they need to read these words. They need to take it. Somebody needs to take this to heart. But we do have an official music video that we're going to be filming for it not too long from now. Okay. And it's going to tell a whole story in there as well. And we'll be excited to get that to you.
So with that, what's the difference between you doing like a full video and the lyric video? You know what I mean? For you,
so
as the artist.
For us, well, first of all, it's a lot less time in front of the camera. So that's the first thing. But really, with the lyric video, we're able to, instead of having to tell a story, we're able to take the story as it moves and apply a kind of sentiment to it along the way. So if you look at our other lyric videos, we try to apply things to it as the lyric's moving, so you can see exactly what the lyric means in a visual format. Yeah. With a lyric video, with a real music video where you're in it and you're filming it, it's more focused on telling a story with your actions and what you're doing. So it's almost more like a movie with a soundtrack behind it. Whereas the lyric video is the song takes the forefront, and we just need you to understand what the song is saying in these lyrics, and which is why we're leading with that one, so people really get the sense of what the song means.
Yeah, I love videos, but the lyric videos are pretty cool because it gives you a chance to pay attention more to, instead of like looking at everything, you're paying attention to the lyrics, like you said. It's kind of cool to have both of those, So.
I think that the lyric videos really, when I was listening to lyric videos instead of watching music videos before I, really Spotify came out.
Yes.
I mean, I would have the YouTube, just the lyric video playing, and I would go running and all that kind of stuff to work out too. So.
Oh, very good. See that Ben, he's one smart guy.
He is. Yeah. YouTube is actually, and another thing for lyric videos, I just learned this 2 months ago. YouTube is the #1 distributor of music on the globe.
What?
So YouTube, more people consume music through YouTube than any other platform, and I think even multiple platforms combined don't reach the extent of YouTube. So. Lyric videos, to Ben's point, they are extremely important, so people can just listen and pay attention to what's happening as opposed to seeing a whole theatrical experience.
Wow, I'll have to do that when I'm working on my little elliptical thing, watch those
Get on that Peloton, girl.
Right? Now I know what to do with my time. Thank you for that. All folks, remember that. Lyric videos. Look at them. They're great. Also, let's talk about, you had a debut single, All Trucks Go to Heaven. Who came up with that title? Who wrote that? The video's amazing.
So that was the very first song that we ever were given the thumbs up to record of somebody else's. So that was the very first song we ever put into the world. It was signed by a record label, and the writers on it, Taylor Phillips, Ben Stennis, and Jeremy Bussey. If you Google their names, for those, I'm sure you are familiar with them, but if anybody else Googles their names, you'll have the same opinion we did, which was, why did they give that to us? Because we weren't anybody. We knew who we were. We'd never been on the radio before, nothing. These guys have written collectively, I don't know, probably 100 #1s. It's insane. So they wrote the song, and when we heard it for the first time, Ben, actually, your story sums it up really well as to why we were like, yes, we want this. We want to tell everybody what.
Absolutely, man. That song struck a nerve with me. My dad passed when I was 19 years old. I was a freshman in college, and to this day, when I go back home to Olive Branch, Mississippi, South Haven, Mississippi area, and visit my mom, we still have my dad's '77 Chevy that is still there. Oh. And so we're gonna try and fix it up a little bit here and there, but every time I ride around in that truck is I kind of feel dad there. So that was good for me.
Well, thanks for sharing that. So let's talk about the name of your band, just two of you, and how the two of you came together. You have separate lives. How did that all happen?
So I actually met Ben at the gym. So his wife was a trainer at the gym that I was working out at the time. And so Ben would pop in every now and then. I was always like, "Where's your husband?" And she was like, "Oh, he's on the road again." So he was a solo artist at the time.
Okay.
I was in the corporate world. I was a consultant. I was helping pharmaceutical companies commercialize their products, and I
Wow.
was fighting against the government and drug companies. And what people thought I was living a dream, I was pretty miserable. And so I knew he was a musician. And one day I told him, I was like, "Hey, if you ever need," I'd played guitar and sang growing up, and I was in a band when I was younger, and I was like, if you ever need anybody to go out on the road with you, just to like stand on stage and pretend to play acoustic guitar, let me know. It's been years. So one day he actually needed somebody to play bass, and if you can play guitar, you can play bass for the most part. And I was like, I'll help you find somebody. But he made the Nashville sin on a week and a half notice of taking a show 5 hours away, and needing to, in the middle of the summer. All the good musicians are taken; they're all booked, and so. Yeah, so I ended up, Ben, you want to tell him the Wednesday before we were leaving on Friday?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, to his point about the cardinal sin and whatnot, like and he knows this too. That August, I told him I was done with music. I said I'm done. I'm going back to medical school. I'm through with it. But going back to that, he was thinking he was going to get about 12, 13 songs to learn.
What a jerk. That's all I'm saying. I still have not forgiven him for this.
I gave him 40 songs. I said, "Here, go learn them." I said, "Really, I don't care if you sound good or not. I honestly don't." And that was the case. And then, we didn't have a little DJ thing in between this. So he got up there with an acoustic guitar and got the crowd going in a way that was so amazing that at the end of the night that they invited us to come back. And then it kept happening and kept happening and kept happening. And finally, after a little while, we decided we were like, he looked at me and said, "Do you just want to do this as a duo thing?" I said, "Okay, I got nothing better to do."
Yeah, and we didn't expect it to go. I mean, we were a cover band. We were doing the college circuit. We got to travel. It was fun. We'd travel and go play colleges and stay the night and see towns, and made a little bit of money and not much. But then our manager, also producer Gary Crane, got involved. He's somebody I've known for 16 years now. He heard our music. He's a legend in the radio industry here in town. And he heard our music and he was like, "I want to meet with you guys. You guys have something here." And then, so we ended up getting signed, and it just kind of took off. I think, but Ben and I are so polar opposite but somehow it works. Like we are so, I mean, even in person, we are just so different, but we get along. It's always worked. And so on the stage,
we haven't killed each other in 6 years, if that's what you're asking.
We spend a lot of time together.
Well, like I said, BoomTown Saints. Where did it come from?
I mean, so a BoomTown is, by definition, it's a town that sees sudden prosperity. So you're talking coal mining, oil towns. That's a BoomTown, right? Mm-hmm. When we were doing the college circuit, we had a name, and it was an old flag football team name of mine, and we wanted to be remembered, and it was a joke. We were doing it anyway, so we were like, we're just gonna be the Hopscotch Mafia.
Look at Ben.
Yeah, we were the Hopscotch Mafia.
What?
And that we were named the Hopscotch Mafia. You'll remember that. Every time you see that name, you're gonna be like,
you'll remember it.
Yeah. And so we had to, as we started getting involved with labels and agencies, half of them loved it. They were like, "That's the greatest name ever. It's memorable. You can, the visuals." And then the other half were like, "That is the worst name I've ever heard in my entire life. Get rid of it." So we were like, "All right, well, let's not cut out half the industry. And let's not make people think we're rappers and hip hop artists."
That's exactly what people thought for a while. They were like, "Are y'all a rap group?"
Yeah. And so
man, I'm a little white.
So we were Ben's middle of nowhere Mississippi. He's southern rock and country.
Yes.
He's not a Hopscotch Mafia.
I did go through a phase. You know this. I did go through a phase. I can't tell you what that playlist is, but it was a good playlist.
It was a good playlist. But so we had to change the name. And BoomTown at the time, we were like, "What's happening to our lives? This is crazy." We're sitting in a studio and with producers, and so BoomTown was it. But we also wanted a visual. We both have very strong background in faith, and we wanted visual to be able to apply to our brand. Nice. And Saints just kind of seemed to fit all of that. So we BoomTown Saints.
There you go. I always like to know about titles of songs and titles of the bands. Do you two know that you're going to be the next Brooks and Dunn? I mean, come on.
from
You
your
guys
mouth to
sing
God's ears.
so
From your, yeah, from
amazing
your mouth
together.
God's ears.
Hang on, say it a little louder. I don't think
Brooks and Dunn. You know, who's going to fill their shoes? George Jones says, you two are going to fill their shoes one day.
We will, we will not accept that unless it ever happens, because that is walking on hallowed ground. But thank you. We hope that happens.
So make sure whatever award show you go that you accept that award, that you invite me to, because
we will.
I said
And we'll
it right
also
here in the
thank
Hollywood
Brooks and
Times,
Dunn.
out here in the West Coast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just the first time hearing you, I was like, you know, I always love be able to meet new people via Zoom, but to hear new music, and I'm like, oh, who? Turn it up. The kids are like, really? Stop it. I'm listening to it. It's always got to be loud the first time. And then I listen to it again, but it's loud so I can hear the music because I love the music. And then I listen to it more of the lyrics, and then I slow it down even the third time. I have to give everybody 3 chances, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay. Where do I get their music? They're amazing. They're my new Brooks and Dunn.
Well, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Coming from this old soul over here. So
Fantastic.
let's talk about also what you're working on right now. You're putting this out, but is there anything else coming down the road?
We've got some surprises. I know that. I'll let Chris elaborate on it, but we've got our catalog of songs is so strong, but you know, we keep either writing or we keep getting songs that are fitting who we are. And we've got one that we just got that I'm super excited about. Chris, go ahead with
so we have 5 songs that we've written that are queued up. And then we have one that a friend of mine, old school friend of mine, known him for like 20 years. He was an artist back in the day. He was in a family band. They had #1, the Wilkinsons.
Nice.
They go back. If you go back 20 years, they had multiple #1s on country radio. Well, the son, Tyler, is a good buddy of mine. And he threw me this song one day, and we were sitting in the airport when we got it, and threw it on our headphones. I literally gave Ben a headphone. I had one in, and we started listening.
Wow.
I mean, midway through the first verse, we were just.
I had chill bumps, and it wasn't because of the beer.
At 8 a.m. Airport rules, guys. Airport rules. No, so we have that coming. We have those 6 songs queued up that are coming out in the near future, and we are super excited about them because again, to Ben, I didn't even tell you this. So there's a gentleman named Keith Follissey. Keith is he wrote something like that by Tim McGraw. I Love You, Martina McBride. His wife has written multiple #1s, Adrian, the greatest human you'll ever meet in your entire life. And on Monday, Ben, he looked at me in my eye and he said, "You guys pick amazing songs." He's like, "Everyone I hear sounds good." So we say that to say, that's where we get the information that our songs are good, because everybody thinks their songs are good. But we are excited. We are extremely excited for what's coming down the pike. It's going to be a fun ride. We've been touring all summer, and we're gonna wind it down a little bit for the winter, just because holidays doesn't really typically do well for touring unless you're a Chesney or Aldine or McGraw.
You're getting
there. We're winding it down for the winter, but next year's, we have a few dates scattered, but next year's looking to be very busy, which is.
I'm looking forward to October, Chris. I really am. Next year.
Oh, now we're going on we were hired to go on a cruise next year.
Like a country cruise kind of thing, or
what?
Yes,
it's country cruising.
Where?
We're going to the Bahamas.
Oh, what's your website so we can find out about it?
BoomTown Saints Music, and if you BoomTownSaintsMusic.com. Our social media, which we post about it quite a bit, is at BoomTown Saints Music and at BoomTown Saints, depending upon what platform you're on.
Okay.
And yes, but we can provide, if anybody wants to go send us a message, we have a discount code, but it's going to be 5 days. Trace Atkins is going to be there. Jared Neiman's going to be there.
Allie's going to be there.
Kanan Smith's going to be there. So it's going to be a really cool week. And we have 2
shows. Is this the first
shows.
One for you doing a country cruise?
First cruise for us, yes.
Oh my God. Have you been on a cruise with your family before?
Yes.
Okay. But this is
taking lots of Dramamine.
After you got on the boat, I told him to take it. He didn't. He got on the boat. He's like, "I'm feeling sick," and so I was like, "Take Dramamine," and he did, and it fixed it.
Took the Dramamine, went to the bar, and I felt really good afterwards.
Hey Ben, does Chris imitate you a lot like he just did?
Absolutely, and it's annoying because he can't get it right.
Can't get it right.
See,
don't get it right.
That was my next question. What irritates the two of you? Be honest. Okay, him imitating you. Chris?
Okay, I think what irritates him about me is probably so he's always the same pace, which is good. That's a very good thing because he doesn't get worked up, he doesn't get too low, he gets very if you can't tell, I tend to be a little more this way. Yeah. And so I know that annoys the heck out of him a lot.
Not every time we go for a walk, it has to be a race. Okay.
But then on the flip side,
we were in Vegas, and I'm sitting there last week walking down the strip. It's 100 degrees. I'm like
107, okay, Ben, get her
107. And all of a sudden I'm like walking, and him and our drummer Caleb are about 20 yards in front of me. I'm like, dude, we walked 12 miles.
But there is a middle ground. There is a middle ground, though, because not every walk has to be a stroll. You know, you're like, all right, we're late.
I'm not working out.
Well, Ben, you got to teach Chris how to do Vegas then. You don't do Vegas at 107 walking fast.
Oh,
we saw it all. We saw it all. Yeah, we saw it.
What did you like? Had you been there before? Yeah.
They brought us out there last year for a show as well. My favorite thing this year, there's this thing, and it's called the Barbershop.
Really?
And it's actually a barbershop. But then you walk through it, and there's this door, and the door opens, and it's this venue that they're playing like 90s rock and 2000s rock. And the people that are on stage, like when Bruno Mars will show up there sometimes and just jump on stage and play. And when we were there, the Lifehouse guitarist was the guitarist. And it's packed every single night. And I can't even explain the vibe. It's probably the coolest place. And I've said this 5 times since we left. It's probably the coolest venue I've ever been to in my life. That was the highlight for me.
And it's right off the strip. Where's that?
In the Cosmopolitan.
It's in the Cosmopolitan.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go up there for NASCAR. And I'll have to
what about the drink, Ben?
Oh yeah. The two other things that were really great. I've never done it. We went there last year. I didn't get to do it. Neither did Chris nor Caleb. We went to a buffet.
Okay.
The Baccarat buffet. If I'm butchering that, I'm sorry, but it was great. It was a little expensive. Like you paid for like $65 for it, but I guarantee you, me, Chris, and Caleb got every cent of that $65 out of that buffet.
We strategized. We sat down and we're like, all right, guys, what's our first plan of attack? And we went back like 5 times, and each 5 times it was prime rib, crab, sushi.
Oh, it was.
Where's that one at?
Caesars.
Caesars Palace.
At Caesars. Okay, now I got to go to Caesars and the Cosmopolitan. Yay, see?
Okay, so there is a very famous drink called the Verbena at the Cosmopolitan. Now, it's not cheap, but at the same time, you have to experience. They have this thing that goes with it. So it's mixed with tequila, verbena leaves, and whatnot. And they have this thing called a buzz button, which is called a toothache plant, the slang for it. Okay. But it's a little flower, and it comes with your drink. You take a sip of your drink, you take the flower, and you eat it. But you chew it up for a while, and you rub the leaves and everything else on the gums. And you get working up salivation and whatnot. Yeah. By the time that happens, you down it, and then you go back to your drink. Your drink will taste different. It feels like static electricity.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like you're broadcasting like AM radio to the entire globe out of your mouth. That's the only way. That's the only way to explain it. I can't. You just have to experience. Ben went and bought an entire pack of the flowers that night to send to his house. Yeah.
So yeah, Amazon sells it. But here's a funny thing. I don't know if we might have talked about that, Chris. They make $9.4 million a year off that one drink.
No way.
$1.4 million.
You have to try it. Even I think the drink was like $18, but you have to try it.
Yeah.
It was 25, but
but to experience the whole thing, I want to know I want to know what AM radio is.
I was saying to broadcast AM radio from your face, it's worth it.
It was good.
That is a wonderful description there, Chris.
He's not wrong.
So I'm going to ask each of you. So what was your inspiration and your dream as a little boy?
Go for it, man.
Let's hear it, Ben. Yeah,
I mean,
or your dream.
dream was actually to become a pro baseball player, but as soon as I got into college and started playing, I was like, yeah, I'm not good enough to do this professionally. It's like I just can't. And then my dream turned into being a doctor. And my brother's a doctor, and my degree is biology. And I was studying my MCAT, and then signed the record deal. I was like, well, that's another dream of mine. So I wanted to become a musician. But yeah, I think the inspiration I've always, if you're talking about musical artist
Yeah.
inspiration,
Yeah.
my biggest one is Kenny Chesney. It always will be. That's when I first heard "Don't Happen Twice." That's what kind of
Yeah.
turned me away from more of the rock into
Yeah.
the country, and that just kind of gripped a hold of me. My
Well,
parents actually thought something was wrong with me for a while. They were like, "Why are you listening to all this country? This
We still do,
You're 11
but
years
not for that
old."
reason. We still think that, but for totally different reasons now.
well, thank you, Kenny Chesney, for bringing bringing Ben to us.
And for me, I guess so. I always wanted to be a musician when I got older. I didn't really have many opportunities to do it growing up for various reasons, which is why I went to the corporate world. And I chased the corporate world very hard, did well, but it never really left. And so that's why I told Ben that day, I was like, look, if I ever get on stage with you, it'd be awesome. I just want to be on stage again. It's been years and I love it. The inspirations for me have always been Boys to Men and Brian McKnight, and then Garth Brooks. So Boys to Men and Brian McKnight, those were the two. They really shaped my music. The very first CD I ever owned was a 2 album by Boys to Men. And I'll sing every song off the entire thing, word for word, no problem. And then Garth Brooks, with his stage presence was so electrifying to me.
Yes.
I always just got, to this day, you still watch it. I'm like, how do you, the thing he has on Prime Video right now, he walks out on stage and he doesn't even jump, run, doesn't say anything, but just the way he stands and the way he looks and uses his hands, the way the reaction he gets from the crowd, very much something that we try to emulate when we're on stage and try to recreate that energy. But those are the three for me.
Wow, those are very impressive. How about some of these country stars who may no longer be with us? Is there any of those who you had wished that you had met?
Oh, Johnny Cash for sure. I would have loved to have met him. Waylon, Johnny.
Oh,
you name
right.
it.
Yeah. A little inspiration for you too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That type of country and stuff.
Yeah, I think Johnny's the one after, especially now. So we have some friends of ours, people on our record label, like Ira Dean. He was very close to Johnny as he grew up, and the stories we hear about him, behind the scenes stories we hear about Johnny. He was not only interesting but a very good human. I know that a lot of times the things that got out into the public were the stuff that made people raise an eyebrow. But understanding where his music came from now, from the behind the scenes stuff, is I wish we could have met him.
Yeah. Do you guys play out here on the West Coast at all?
Finally, we went to Folsom.
Did you?
We also played. Yeah, we were just there like a month ago.
Back in June. That is almost. This is crazy. Yeah, it was back June 1st. Wow, that shows you how fast our summer has gone.
I literally was going to say like 3-4 weeks ago, but no.
Months ago.
We do the Pacific Northwest quite a bit. They've been really good to us up there. Our music has kind of taken root, and we love going up there. But we really want to we're hoping to get down to Southern California sometime soon. My wife's from there, and we want to get down there and see it and play some music down there. So we'll see.
Where is she from?
Anaheim. She was born and raised in Anaheim.
Disneyland.
Yep. She lived apparently just like 10 minutes from it. So she was right there. She apparently lived on the same street as Gwen Stefani, from what I understand. So
okay,
Gwen, if you're watching this, no.
You guys come on out and I can get you into Disneyland so you could have
Okay. Yes, please.
See and give you a special tour of I used to work there back in the early 2000s. So
really
that park really well. Yeah.
Never been.
You've never been? All right, then I guess we're gonna have Ben and the wife out first.
Oh, you've never even been to Disney World, have you been?
Oh, I've been to any Disney.
Oh, you haven't been to any? All right. Well, there you go.
I've been to Gatlinburg a whole lot, though.
I can get you into Walt Disney World too. So whichever one's that's probably closer for you, I guess, isn't it? Disney World on the other side.
We're actually going down to Orlando. Taking my family to Orlando in 25 days.
Nice.
So,
See? All right.
be a good time.
Very good. So do you two have anything else to share with us about what's coming up this song and, what you have to say about Heart Breaks You?
We're excited. We're excited. Again, there's a reason we have waited 4 years anxiously about this song, for this song. We can't say that about every song. This is easily, Ben, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is easily my favorite song we've ever been pitched. And it just so happened to be the first. And I think Sam Grow will tell you the same exact thing. And to be able to sing the song with him is just, we're over the moon. And we're so excited that Friday's finally coming.
4 years in the making for Friday.
There you go. Well, we do appreciate taking the time here to talk to us at the Hollywood Times. We will be putting this up on our official YouTube channel, Hollywood Times Official. And we look forward to following your career because I know it's going to go all the ways to the moon as our new Duo of the Year awards are going to start coming your way.
Well, thank you very much for the belief, and we will do everything we can not to let you down.
Yeah, keep us posted on anything else that's coming up with you guys. And happy holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas to both of you and your families.
Thank you, and same to you. And thank you so much for having us on today. It's very flattering, and we appreciate it.
It was quite fun. Thank you so much.